Hello and welcome back to the final installment here of the Google Slides tutorial. This last video segment is going to be about using external resources. When I say external, I mean anything that's not in the Google family. So far to this point, we've used Google Docs, we've used Google Questions, we've used Google Forms. Now we are going to show you how to incorporate anything that's not Google, basically. You can add links from anywhere. Any web page, anything, essentially, as long as it's in a location that can be shared, you can give it to your students. So what I've created here is just some examples of some of the things you can do or things you can share that are outside the Google family. So I just put a Chrome logo here because literally if there's an address bar and it's an article, it's a picture, it's anything, it's a website that you want students to access, all you need to do is copy the address bar, and as long as it's not blocked on their Chromebooks, they will be able to address it and have access to it. And again, using this as that platform to get there. A PDF file. These are very, very valuable. There's a multitude of ways you can use PDF files to give students access. It could be readings, it could be digital textbooks, it could be old worksheets. I made a note here. If you're not aware, I know there's a lot of teachers who have been around for a little longer and have done a lot of their work and their activities on Microsoft Docs. And it's like once we switch to Google, going back to Microsoft Docs becomes a pain, because if you open it in Google Docs, everything's out of order. It's not in the right place. It's the wrong font. It's the wrong formatting. Well, any Microsoft document that you have made previously, you can save it as a PDF and they will access it and it'll look exactly the same. Now, it won't have the same editing features, but that's a different video tutorial that we'll be able to go about if you want to see how to do that. So here's just an example of a PDF that I found online that I've used in the past. This is just access to a global review book. Now, this link is probably illegal, but I didn't put it on the internet. I'm just, leading the horse to water here. So this is a PDF. I just copied the web page, boom, put it in, and it's available. You can also add links to other Google Slide presentations. So let's say you want students to access old notes or old readings or old whatever it was that you had in your Google Slide presentation. You can add a link to it. Click it, that brings it up, and it takes them into that old Google Slide that they had seen previously, or a new Google Slide, whatever it may be. Any type of Google Slide can be added within a Google Slide. You can have links to them. Online games. If you want to branch out to an online game, this link takes you to Shepherd Software. This is a geography game that you can play, but anything like Gimkit, I don't know if any of you are Gimkit users, you can have a link from Gimkit and all the kids can go and start playing the game together. Another option is Quizlet. I know a lot of us have created study guides and have tools and materials on Quizlet. Build a link from Quizlet to whatever it is that you've created, or even that somebody else has created but has been shared with you, and it'll take them to the flashcards and all the tools associated with Gimkit. Oh, I'm sorry, with Quizlet. All right, these last two I'm going to spend a little more time on, just because I intend to make videos for these last two at a later date and show you kind of what they're capable of. So the first one here is something called Wiser. At least I think it's called Wiser. It makes sense. You're trying to make kids smarter or wiser. So this is an interactive worksheet. This is a way for students to complete worksheets online. It started with me trying to find, I like in some cases for review to be able to fill in the blanks. And I was trying to find a resource that did that, and I think this one did it the best. And so I ended up using it and finding other uses for it too. So here's an example of an activity on globalization. Um, within this activity, I have a fill in the blank, and the students will use a reading here to do this. So access the reading. This reading is a Google Doc that I had created through compiling other readings that I wanted students to have access to. So this is the tool, or this is the document that they will use then to create these fill in the blank sections, to show their reading comprehension. They offer word banks for kids to be able to add their words. They cross out when you use the words. Some of the other things it does that I like a lot is it offers sorting. It gives you the ability to categorize some information to demonstrate your learning and understanding, like the pros and cons of globalization. They would do that here. You can also add questions that contain documents, multiple choice. There's a lot of different things that this program does. Like again, I will show you, or hope to show you in another video. But I just want you to kind of see it, so that way if it's something you want to play around with or something that you really want me to help you with, I could absolutely do that. But yeah, this is, again, self-grading assignment. Students finish this, submit it. Now, I don't have the professional version of this. You can do a lot with the free version. The professional version, I think, will give them instant feedback. I don't think that they get instant feedback until I've said okay and sent it back to them. But I haven't explored or haven't had an opportunity to use the professional version yet. I intend to and hope to this year because it's a tool that I like a lot. And then lastly, for kind of an online collaboration piece, this program called, or website called Kialo. Essentially what this is you give students a thesis or a question or whatever it may be, and they make arguments, pros and cons. You give them the statement here, and then they want to add a pro. They give what their information is. They can show where they got their information from or wherever it may be. They can add a con, whatever they would deem there. And then they can also comment on the comments. You're seeing 0 here. There's no comment, so I can't click it yet. But this is a way for them to interact with each other, look at other perspectives, look at other viewpoints, and have dialogue while being 6 feet apart, while also being able to have dialogue with everybody in the class rather than just 1 or 2 kids. So I think this is a pretty cool website. It's very, very simple and easy to use, and 100% free, which is my favorite part. So I just want to quickly go through some examples of how to add these links and how they might look if it's any different. The web page should be pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to give an example of that. The PDF file is something that I would like to show you, though, if you want to add a link for a PDF file. So any PDF file that you might have in your Google Drive, and that's where I am right now. I'm in my Google Drive. Type in PDF, and there's a bunch of different PDFs that come up for me. We'll do fronts and stunts, a little football. Oh, maybe we won't do fronts and stunts. We're going to get out of that. All right. Here's a PDF. So with this PDF, all I want to do is create a link to it. This is a part of a textbook about fascism rising, a couple of pages of a textbook or a chapter. If I want to share this with kids, I come into my Google Drive where it's saved, right click on it, and I would like to get a shareable link for this document. So I can do 2 things. I could add this document into Google Classroom and then copy the link right from there. That's one way to do it. Since this is a document that I just want students to view, I don't need them to edit it or make their own copy or do anything like that. I would consider just copying the link right from my Google Classroom as well. All right, so here's my link. So I want people to be able to be viewers of the document in Google or in Batavia City School District. Copy the link. Go back. So again, this is just a picture of a PDF. I don't need to, it doesn't have to be that. I can do it on text as well, any PDF file. Add the link. All right, click apply. Now, anybody who signed in under their Batavia account who has this link, right, they'll be able to open it and see that PDF that we just looked at. Okay, if I want to do another Google slide, a link to a Google slide to be no different. That's what I want. Show me all my Google slide presentations. All right, so let's say I want a Hitler intro. Okay, I'm going to right click, get shareable link. I want Batavia City School District people to be viewers of the document. I'm going to copy the link, done. Come back here. Again, I'll do text links. Click the link button, paste the link in. All right, and there you have it. So now anybody who clicks on this will be able to access that Google Slides presentation. All right, and everything else works just as a website would. You would copy the address bar from online and just paste the link in. All right. Hopefully that gives you a little guidance as to how to set up a Google slide and have it be the centerpiece where everything comes from and stems from for your lesson. It's a recommendation. It's not something that anybody's requiring you to do. Again, for me, being organized is very important, and having students understand where they go, having just ease of communication, not having to explain directions a lot. And it's just show you once, this is how it works. You go back here, this takes you to where you need to go. That's the mindset behind this. Hopefully you found it valuable, or at least some pieces of it valuable, and we'll be able to incorporate them in your classroom. I appreciate you tuning in. All right, thanks for checking out the videos. Hopefully there'll be more to come.